as well as some suggestions, I would say, of games that should have been on that particular system. So we're going to be getting into all of that, of course. But let's get into playing Kritika here, or Kritika, there we go. I've been saying it both ways here, so it really doesn't matter to me. I don't really care. But of course, I have my warrior here who is already at level 6. Another thing I decided to do, of course, to definitely save time as well, is I did not want to just go through level by level, because I know for many of you the episodes were getting too long, and many of you were saying, oh, the episodes are too long, I don't like this. So to, of course, help with that, I'm going to be making my episodes are going to be a little bit shorter, just because nobody likes it apparently when I do longer episodes. But hey, that's okay. I mean, I appreciate that, of course, overall. And yeah, it's just been really yeah, it's been really interesting, I have to say. So what we're gonna do today, I'm just gonna go over what the game is about, and just kind of going over the pretty much the basics of Kritika, or, you know, going through all of that. So let's go through it, shall we? So the first thing, of course, is this is going to be your main menu here. You have your system settings. This really helps you to play around with the size configuration, how it's going to look. And then you can also change things like your graphic quality and stuff like that. Of course, you have your inventory, your quest log. These are all kind of general things that you would see in this, you know, in this type of game. So let's go ahead, and then of course you hit return to game. It takes you to the game here. So here are your main controls. As you know, W, A, S, and D allow you to move the way that you want to move, and of course you use the mouse here to kind of change your perspective. So I'm kind of working on this quest right now called Her Brother's Keeper. That's the main one. And then, as you can see, the map on the upper right hand side, if you see question marks that are yellow, those are going to be your main quests, but they're also side quests. But then if you see like a purple asterisk, that means that's a your main story quest. And as you can see, there are a lot of people playing, which is always good. And of course, you know me, I would have to play, you know, a very muscular looking man, because that's what I play, okay? So with all that ridiculousness aside, of course, let's get into the main juicy topic of the day, and that is talking about what's the big deal about the NES Classic. Okay, first off, was I excited for the original NES Classic? Yes. But what ended up happening was the supply did not meet the demand, and to me, and this is just my prediction, I feel like it's going to be the same thing once again. There's not going to be enough NES Classics to go around. And then, as you can see, the price to get an NES Classic is absolutely ridiculous. And I will not be paying some of the prices that I have seen for an NES Classic. To me, I don't think it's worth it at all. I really don't think it's worth it. And this is just, you know, my personal opinion, you know, in regards to it. I don't think it's worth paying that much just for a couple of games. And I mean, yeah, you know, you got your Double Dragon on there, you got your Castlevanias. I mean, these are games that really changed the level of difficulty in regards to the foundations of gaming. But I don't think it's still worth it to pay the prices that I'm seeing out there. So pretty much we're at the part here. Okay, so Kritika has a story. There's this stuff called like Critium, and it's a material that was used to pretty much, you know, do some horrible things that has divided the land. That's pretty much what I've gotten so far. So you're playing, there are 4 different characters that you can choose from. The main one here I have is the warrior, and they are all based on level difficulty. So when you pick your character, you want to make sure that you're picking some. If you've never played Kritika before, I recommend going with the warrior or the gun mage, just because it's a little bit easier and kind of gets you into the game right away. Now this game you can play with a controller, but you have to set it up yourself in order to play, and I've really been kind of trying to get it to set up right, but it hasn't really been setting up right. So what I did was I started to kind of look at the controls, and of course my inventory is full. My inventory is always full in these type of games, but as you can see, this is very action combat in your face. It's very heads-on, and it's great. I mean, but the warrior is the easiest. As you can see, you can get a lot of really amazing combos. But yeah, I just felt like overall, you know, the NES Classic, it was not really worth it to me. And then, of course, the supply did not meet the demand. And I feel that's the same thing with the NES, that's going to happen with the NES Classic. And that's unfortunate, because I think, you know, it's like now people want to care about retro gaming because it's cool. And I remember when retro gaming was something that was for losers, and, you know, it was better to play the more modern type of games. So there's always like a trade-off when it comes to retro gaming. When retro gaming is cool, then it's like everybody wants to be interested in it. You know, but for those of us who were interested in it before it became like mainstream and popular, this is kind of like, okay, well, this is nothing new. Of course, they would want to, you know, Nintendo would want to come out with the NES Classic, because it would also help to bring more attention to the Switch as well. So I was not surprised at all. I really was not. So we'll get through this level, and then we're gonna go through all 21 games, and you'll definitely get my opinions of, oh man, that was horrible. This is like my favorite move right there. Oh, it's great. I love it. Alright, let's get this aeronaut. He is very difficult, if I do say so myself. So you gotta watch out, because his moves are no joke here. Alright, and I have to work on my defense. Kritika is all about your offense and defense, and when you... see, as you can see, this is why I do not like him. I think I'm gonna get him. I'm gonna get him, people. I'm going to get him real good here. Ah! Oh, man. I am so close to dying. Yes! Yes. But yeah, you can use this game with a controller. You just have to set it up. And then, of course, you do get a letter grade on how well you performed. And as you can see, I really suck. So, but that's okay, because I like to play for fun. And then, of course, you pick a card. This is very similar to games like... okay, so Kritika is being released by NMAS. Now, NMAS is the same company that did Terra. And as you can see, they really are starting to like these action combat type of games. I love Terra, so I'm really glad that this game is out now, and this is in open beta. So as soon as I found out it was in open beta, I'm like, yes, I have to play this right away. So then, of course, F3 will take you back to town. Back to town where all the good stuff is, you know? Alright, so let's go over what this NES Classic will entail. Of course, the price is $79.99, and it will be available on September 29th. So, hey, that's pretty cool, if I do say so myself. And then, of course, for those of you who are not familiar, which I'm sure you are, the NES Classic really represents the 16-bit era. This is when we started to see a definite increase in the quality of how the textures of the characters, and it made the characters come to life a lot more. So let's go over these 21 games, shall we? So first off, we got Super Mario World. I'm not surprised. If a Mario game is not included, all the Nintendo fans will get mad. So of course, they included it. So you got Super Mario World, you got Super Mario Kart. You've got to have Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past, because if you don't, the Zelda fans do get mad. Then you have F-Zero, which is an amazing racing game, and I don't even like racing games, but this one is it's absolutely amazing, and I was very impressed with F-Zero. Of course, Super Metroid. I've not had a chance to play Super Metroid, but it's considered one of the more darker Metroids. And it's very hard to find really good games in the sci-fi genre, especially on the Super Nintendo. And I can understand why they added that. Of course, you have your Street Fighter 2 Turbo. I mean, that's essential. I mean, Street Fighter not only really helped to open up the popularity of fighting games, but it also, to me, opened up a lot more advanced techniques in regards to combo attacks. And yeah, I can see why it's on here. We have Super Punch-Out, kind of a dumb game, didn't really care for it. Now, the one that I was really excited about was Super Castlevania. Oh my gosh. When I tell you Super Castlevania is probably, to me, in my top 10 hardest games ever. The level, I mean, it starts off really clean, right? And then you're jumping through like clock gears and all kinds of crazy stuff, and it just gets more, and the enemies get more and more ridiculous, especially the final boss. Enough said. I'm not even gonna ruin it for you, okay? Then we have Donkey Kong Country. Of course, they have to add that. But another one that I was very excited about, for those of you who don't know, I am a huge fan of Mega Man. I love Mega Man games. They are great. They really are, to me, one of the standards of the platforming genre of games. And Mega Man X, one of my favorites, definitely. I can see that. Now, Kirby Superstar, I'm not a Kirby person, so I don't really even care to talk about it. Final Fantasy 3, yes! I was so excited about Final Fantasy 3. I was like, yes. And Final Fantasy 3 doesn't always get the respect that the other Final Fantasies do, but I still love it. I still think it is a staple in any JRPG's person's collection. And I also will be showing you my gaming collection as well. That will be coming up in a future episode, and I'll show you. For me, I specialize a lot in JRPGs. I specialize a lot in fighting games, and I love games with really good deep storylines. And you know me, I am just such a person when it comes to romance, so you know I had to get Final Fantasy VIII, enough said. Then of course there's Kirby's Dream Course, and I don't care for it. Star Fox, yeah, you've got to have the original Star Fox. And Star Fox, to me, really brought out more of the shooting genre, and it's really a game of its own. Of course, you got Yoshi's Island. Who cares? You have Super Mario RPG. This is a very hard, expensive game to find. I have not played it myself, but it is very well respected in regards to Mario games. Of course, you have Contra 3, which, it's alright. I mean, don't get me wrong, Contra is cool, but, I mean, it's alright. Secret of Mana, you know me, I'm an RPG, like, I'm all about the RPGs, and definitely, this is a game that really, to me, stepped up in regards games that you could play multiple player, And I also love the fact that the storyline, it just gets you really interested. It makes you really think about the environment as well, and how important it is to treat our planet with respect. So it is a game. It's a really cool game to think. I know it's a game, right? But it's something to think about. Of course, we have Earthbound. I don't see what the big deal is about Earthbound, and I don't even see why people really kind of spend the time trying to get this game. It's not my thing, I have to say. It's really not my thing. But I mean, I'm glad. You know, as you can see, most of the games that are on here, like some of them are very collectible type of games. So that's really kind of neat. And then, of course, finally, we have the super ghouls, like ghouls and ghosts or whatever. I don't even care about that. So there it is, the 21 games. What I think overall, I think that it could have been done a little bit better. I would have preferred to have a little bit more fighting games on here. I would have preferred to have a lot more RPGs, just maybe one more RPG. But I'm glad they put Secret of Mana. That definitely stood out to me. Castlevania 4, Mega Man X definitely stood out to me. And then also, how could I forget, for the first time ever, Star Fox 2 has been completed. And here's the part I don't think that was really clarified, but they finally clarified it, is that in order to play Star Fox 2, you have to beat the first level of the original Star Fox, and then Star Fox 2 will be revealed. That's just from what I've read. And then I also will have a link as well to a very interesting article from Polygon in regards to them looking at the hardware. And overall, when you get the NES Classic, that's if you get it, because we know it's going to, me, I feel like it's going to be, we know it's going to be hard to find. So it will come with the console itself, and it also comes with 2 controllers, which is really cool. The only thing I will say, though, I prefer the European edition of the NES. It just looks cooler. So I really wish that they would have released both versions. I mean, the American version, it looks alright, you know, but I really don't like the controller. I prefer the European edition just because it was more, it was more colorful, and yeah, it is a really, it was a really, I mean, it's still, to me, of all the NES consoles, the SNES had the best controller. It is very comfortable. You know, even after all of the years that the NES has been out, it's still very, 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 very comfortable. So, but the only thing I will say, though, is I hope that the accessories won't be as ridiculously expensive as it was for the NES Classic. And I hope this time, Nintendo, please make the cords on this system long. Because let me tell you, the NES Classic, from what I saw, okay, the cord was not long enough at all. And I thought that that was, like, absolutely, like, ridiculous. I really thought it was ridiculous. So, with that. But, you know, we'll see how it goes. Of course, you know, freaks and geeks out there, definitely let me know what you think in regards to this SNES Classic. I think it came out at a really convenient time, just because the, you know, Nintendo Switch came out, and they're trying to kind of, you know, get people interested in that as well. But it will be interesting to see how well, I mean, it's going to do well, of course, but I just think it's a little bit overrated for it to come out now when it should have come out, like, a long time ago. Actually, I thought it would have been really neat if the NES Classic and the SNES Classic came out at the same time, but of course they won't do that, because, you know, you gotta hype things up, right? So of course I have new skills. So then what you want to do is you want to go to your, it's called SP or skill points here, And then you can just choose which ones that you want to add your skill points to. So I think I'm going to go for this one and go for that. And I'll get my basic skill going here. And then all you want to do is just hit apply. And then you hit OK. And then I have slash and kick now. So when you use the double slash, add a combo kick by pressing the Q key. So we'll have to try that and see how that goes. So let's try that. So let's get out of here and let's return to game. Alright, so let's go. Okay, so as you can see, these yellow question marks, these are just like your quest or side quests there. So let's go and complete this one. Of course, if you hit F, it brings it up for you.
Yeah, keep on walking, hero.
Listen, it's not like I want to take credit for this. Well, I mean, you have a bandana on, so I would say yes, but I digress. If I tell Sark you're the one who killed that officer, though, I'll be in the doghouse for weeks. I knew you would understand. You know, you've got my undying gratitude, right? Alright, so then it'll tell you what rewards, of course, that you got here. And then,
damn, but I missed the
we have my character here, which is Durant.
Call me anytime.
Alright, so we got that done. So that's all you're doing. You're just going from quest to quest. And that's pretty much it. So let's go to Sala. And you'll see why I love Sala. Because Sala looks gorgeous. And if I even had a piece of her looks, I think people would like me more. No, I'm being ridiculous. Okay. I had no idea that there were so many soldiers in the city. I'm just lucky you were here. That's how I like picture her sounding, just very seductive. Could you keep this between you and me? Sark doesn't need to know. Your secret is safe with me. I really appreciate your discretion. If people get the wrong idea about me, I'll have to leave. Of course, I would give you the wrong impression because no one likes you, no one likes you, no one... No, I'm being ridiculous. I am being really, really ridiculous. Okay, so to jump is spacebar, so we'll do that. Now, I will say this game is a little bit easier to play with the keyboard and mouse. I've been trying out playing with a controller, but there's just so many, like, keys that you have to, like, assign, and it's just a pain. And here is Kausis looking super fine with that dark robe and those piercing eyes. Okay, why am I getting hot and bothered? Okay, let's move on here. Alright, so... Alright, so there. Let's go talk to Sark. Let's get the hair of the dog here. Alright, so let's go ahead and do that. But yeah, I've been having a lot of fun playing with controllers, and there are so many different controllers out there. Really, just really good controllers. They have some for all different, there are universal ones, so I think what I'll do is make a separate episode just talking about controllers, because there's different types of controllers. You have your Bluetooth controllers, you have controllers that use USB, you have what I like to call combination controllers, where it's using, you can attach it separate with a detachable USB cord that is connected with a micro USB cord, and then they also have ones that are, yeah, so those are the main ones. You got your wireless ones with Bluetooth capabilities. You have some that are corded, and there's always been, I don't know why, gaming-wise, gamers have been very divided on this, but there is a lot of arguments about cord versus wireless. Now, if you're having latency problems, I would go with a cord controller, and I do both. You know, it just depends on how good the wireless capability is. So, I mean, it really depends, and I will show you some of the controllers that I have that I really enjoyed and have worked really well, and I I mean, but the thing I'm trying to stop doing is I notice that I buy a lot. I'm like a shopping, you know, I shop way too much, but I just love shopping. I mean, if shopping could be a sport, I would get, I should get a gold medal for it. That is for sure. Alright, look at all this. The fire and the flames. Alright. And then, of course, there are quests where you're just picking stuff up here. I have to get, like, 10 of these things or something. But, yeah, I have a lot of different controllers that I play with. And I am all about, like, portable gaming. You know, I really like handhelds. And I just like handhelds because, you know, you can game on the go. You don't have to... Oh, I totally forgot to empty my inventory. I am an idiot. But that's okay. Oh, man. Oh, okay, I was about to say, I was like, did I miss something? I'm always missing something. Alright, come and get me, fools. Yeah, I thought so, because I'm a powerful warrior. Alright. And then if you also see here, you see that like X4, the higher that is, that's the more points, of course, you get. So you want to keep your combos going here. I'm going to have to go back because I totally missed something. So that's going to affect my score. Your score is really based on how fast you are getting through the level and the amount of combos that you get as well. But I really, you know, I really wish that Kritika had controller support. I really think it would help to improve the game, and I think more people would play it if it was, you know, if it was easy to play. This is the reason why I play Orningiri a lot, just because all I have to do is just plug in my controller and it recognizes it and I'm good to go. And it's really, I like gaming that is stress-free. I do not like gaming that is complicated. When gaming gets too complicated, I can't, I'm just that person. I just can't deal with it. I just think it's just too much, you know? Whoa, I totally missed that. I have to learn how to block too, cause, oh, and see I'm going backwards, cause of course I would do that. But yeah, as you can see, this is a really good game. You know, you can just play, you know, it's just really quick. You get through the level and that's pretty much it. I mean, you're beating up different things, different enemies. It's kind of nice. There we go. Alright, where... Okay, I feel like there's something... okay, there we go. I was like, something's missing here. Like, why can't I go through to the next area? But I appreciate you freaks and geeks, too, for saying that you like my look and you like my makeup. I really appreciate that. I've been working really hard on keeping my appearance as decent as I can. I mean, you've seen me with makeup, you've seen me without makeup, so... Alright, let's get this aerial not fool. Ah, come on. Let's get through them here. And then once you go to job or level 15, then you go through a job change actually. So I'm just gonna corner him here and get him going here. And if you see those, see, I didn't have a chance to do it. Shoot! Alright, well, at least I finished it, so I really can't complain. Yay, I got S this time. This makes me feel good. Yay! Let's jump. Woo! Yeah, there we go. Feel good about myself. Alright, there we go. Alright, so let's return to town, finish those quests, and all that good stuff. Do all of that, you know. Alright, so yeah, this is a I really like enjoy this game. It's a really good game. It is a lot of fun. I highly recommend you play Kritika. Alright, so let's go turn those quests in. Rah! There we go. Alright, so let's go to Sark first. Let's see what Sark has to say. I know our rebellion will triumph. It must. The only thing about this game, it's very reading intensive. So if you do not like reading, this is not going to be for you at all. Yes, I will. Alright, and there's Cassis. Let's see what Cassis has to say. Okay. So, if he's allowed to continue, it won't be long before all of Kurios is in ruins. Well, that's why we fight. Thank you. Alright, quest completed. Rocket Man. Alright, so we got that done. Okay, so now you're like, what's going on? Like, why isn't there any more quests? Well, you have to reach a certain level now to open up new quests. So for this, you have to open up to, or go up to level 8. And I'll be there very soon. I can see that I will get there very, very soon. So this is cool. Like, I really think Kritika is a great game. I mean, for open beta, this is very smooth. I mean, you know, there's no, I haven't had any, you know, issues so far. But yeah, this is a really good game. I'm telling you, to my freaks and geeks out there, I really recommend this game. I think it's done really well. And as you can see, I'm trying to work out here, doing my laps. Okay, let me go sit by, like, Sala and, you know, try to, you know, maybe make her my girlfriend someday. Hey, what's up? No, I'm being ridiculous today. Alright, like I always do, I like to leave you with what I like to call food for thought. And it's just something to really think about, right? So today, our juicy topic of the day, since I was all over the place today, we were talking about the NES Classic and what's the big deal. I get it. Retro gaming has made a very strong comeback. It has been for a long time. And here's the thing. The reality is retro gaming is nothing new. I think there will always be an audience for people who are interested in things of the past. There will always be an audience of people that are interested in things that are the future. So I think what is important as a person who games is, I think this is just me, I think it's good to have a balance of both. I think that if you can appreciate, you know, the SNES, you can appreciate PC gaming. Or if you like PlayStation 1, then you can, you know, appreciate the NES or appreciate any of the older systems out there. Because if it was not for these older systems, we would not have the games that we have today. Now, on top of that, I also feel it is important for us as gamers, as freaks, as, you know, geeks out there, that we all take the time to respect each other's differences in regards to the games that we play overall. So I think that once there's a mutual respect there, it doesn't mean that you have to like a game because someone else likes it. I just think it's important to recognize that people are going to like different types of games, and one game is not better than the other. What works for one person may not work for you, and hey, at the end of the day, I think that's okay. So with that, hey, I appreciate all of you for checking out today's episode. Of course, if you want to see more of these episodes, you can check me out, of course, on Twitter, which is at SINTV Gaming. And hey, like I always say, remember to get smart and stay informed.